Welcome to Rocksolid Productions, where in this video we're going to show you how you can quickly and easily connect your retro video game consoles to your modern TVs, and how to connect your modern consoles to old CRT TVs? That's right, stay tuned. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rocksolid Productions. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, before we get started, just want to take a second, say thanks for stopping by and checking out what we have going on here. It really does mean a lot to me, my family, and the channel, and our overall success, especially in days like this, where YouTube, it's making it even harder for independent creators such as myself to get ahead. Do me and other independent creators a huge help. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and one thing I want to know from you down in the comments, what is your favorite retro or modern game console of all time? For me, it's the Super Nintendo. Love that system, so many great titles. But I want to know what your favorite console is down in the comment section. Let us know. We've got so many different videos here on the channel too. Check out some of the other content that we have here as well. So the folks over at TTX Tech have sent us a couple different adapters to make it easier to connect your old school video game system to a modern TV, to connect your new school video game systems to old school TVs, and how to connect more devices into a single HDMI input. So what we have here, two of these guys here look pretty similar, but they do the exact opposite thing. The first one that we have here is the AV to HD adapter. We've talked about these in the past. I'm not a huge fan, but they will get you up and running quickly and easily, but not the best quality generally speaking. We'll get into more of that later. The next one that they provided here, this is the HD to AV. I have to admit, when I first saw this, I kind of scratched, what the hell is this? What do I do with this? We'll explain. And then finally, they provided an HD splitter. Now, the nice thing with TTX Tech is not only are they available in places like Amazon, they're also available in your local brick and mortar retro video game store. Like, I've got Live Action Games here locally. Adrian has got a great shop. He carries these there. If I need accessories like this, I know that TTX has them hooked up where I can go ahead and go to my local store and get the product that I need. So what we're going to do, we're going to take each of these three, we're going to throw them on the bench, we're going to see how they come out of the box. Now, with two out of the three, I can kind of show you how they work, and that would be the AV to HD. I can capture that easily enough because I can go from Composite into HD or HDMI and then go to my capture card. Simple. The 3 HDMI splitter, again, easy enough to show you how it works. Where it gets a little bit shaky is going to that HDMI to AV. The thing is, if I capture that, it's going to capture via HDMI. So it kind of, you lose the effect, as it were. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to take one of our projectors that we have, we're going to take our PS3, and we're going to connect it up to that. Give you a little bit of a different look, and we're going to go into the composite inputs on our projector. So let's go, let's hit the bench, let's check these guys out. So here we have the three adapters on the bench. Again, the HD to AV, so that'll take you from an HDMI to RCA composite, AV to HD, which does the reverse, and then the HD splitter. So let's look at the HD to AV first. Outputs up to 480i, included power cable, NTSC, and PAL region switches. So one of the nice things on this, it's actually an aluminum casing, which will help dissipate heat. You do have a chipset, obviously, in here that's doing the conversion, and that can create heat as you are playing. That'll help act as a heat sink. On this side here, you have your USB power and your NTSC PAL switch. Now, this was set to PAL out of the box. We're gonna switch it to NTSC. On this side, you have your composite inputs, your yellow, red, and white. And actually, that's your composite outputs, I'm sorry, because that side is your HDMI input. So what this would do is this would be good if you had, like, say you wanted to play an NES Classic on a CRT TV. That's exactly what you would use something like that for. So we'll set that one aside for now. And it does come with a small instruction manual. Next up is the AV to HD converter, and it's saying it's a high-def 1080p output. With easy installation, you can now enjoy all your favorite retro consoles and AV-compatible devices on your HD television. This AV to HD converter includes a power cable and 720p and 1080p output modes that transforms your standard definition video into HD. 720p and 1080p output modes, included power cable, easy installation. And that's the one thing that's really nice about these, is they are pretty simple to use. That is a true statement. However, what I have noticed for the most part when I've used these in the past, and one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of these, is at least the ones that I've tried before this, I get a ton of RF noise, both an audio buzz and a visual buzz as well, or interference. And that's mostly been on my AV modded Famicom or my Sharp Famicom Twin are the two that I notice it the most. And again, if you look at them top to bottom, they look damn near identical because it's pretty much the same case. They're just labeled differently. And I do have to make sure, okay, this is the right one because, again, they do look that similar. So input here, composite video, yellow, white, red. Output is going to be via HDMI. You have your USB power here, 720p, 1080p switch right there. Out of the box, this one is set to 1080p. And much like the other one, it does include a decent USB cable. The last one we have here, this is the HD splitter, and it is important to note this is only HDMI 1.4 spec. I believe right now, and they change all the time, I want to say the latest version is 2.1, but I could be behind on that. Please correct me in the comments. It's been a little bit since I've looked at that, but important to note, this is only for HDMI 1.4 and below. So this will support 1080p, 60 frames a second, or 4K up to 30 frames a second. Transform your TV or monitor's HDMI port easily into 3 with high resolution support and auto switching included. Be able to get to any HDMI selection by just turning on your device, making this adapter a great addition for your media center. Adds 3 more HDMI ports to your display, supports 1080p at 60 or 4K at 30, HDMI 1.4. And again, this is an older revision of HDMI, something to be aware of. Now, I don't think that that'll mean that it's not going to work with your devices. I just know that with some of them, it has some additional features. Again, someone in the chat, or in the chat, this isn't a stream, but we do those. Someone in the comments, please feel free to update what the updates in the latest version of HDMI are. I'll probably actually add that in the more info section, which if you're not aware, make sure that you check out the more info section on all of our videos. There's actually a pretty thorough write-up on everything. So this is all self-contained, and it does have a little plastic. Oh, ooh, that feels good. Oh, Billy.
Oh, Billy.
So overall length here, not too long, but you do get, you know, what is this, about 24 inches, I think. Actually, it might be 3 feet. On the splitter portion itself, you do have LEDs to represent which input you are using. And now it did say that it will auto detect what's powered on. You can also toggle through them using that switch. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna hook at least the AV to HDMI and this guy up, and we're gonna test it out. I'm gonna see if there's a way we can test this out. Might be a little gorilla, but we'll see what we can do. Let's get started. So unfortunately, the only way I can really kind of demonstrate what the HDMI to AV does is through like my projector that I have here. So basically I'm going into the composite inputs on the back from my switch, even though this projector actually has a an HDMI in. Let's play some NES real quick, just because, I mean, come on, if you're going to play composite, you're going to play the NES or a Genesis or a Master System or something like that. It is definitely blurry and not very clear. I will say that for starters. Now I am using the KMD Pro wireless gamepad here to play. I went backwards. I was trying to just stay where I was at. I mean, this looks about what I would have expected composite HDMI to look like. I mean, it's actually, that's a lie. This actually looks a little bit better than I thought that it would be, but it's still composite, which is just how people can play composite on modern games, I will never understand. I am definitely not the target market for this. So here we fired up some Luigi's Mansion here, and I mean, it's not HDMI. That's for sure. But I mean, if your rube's like the gaming off the grid guys, I mean, then I mean, you can play your modern games on a CRT or something. Hey, did I come in here before? Yes, I had. There we go. Come on, we gotta beat him up and beat him and beat him. There we go. All right, let's test out the AV to HDMI adapter now. I kind of hate to do this, but I'm gonna start off with the Super NES and one of my favorite games of all time. This would be Super Mario All-Stars with Super Mario World. And one of the things I want you to see, first and foremost, if you see the picture, it's forcing it to 16:9. No. Now I can go ahead and with my remote, I can go into my settings and I can change the screen mode to be 4:3. The problem is the capture will still show you 16:9. So something to be aware of this. Now some people, when I first started getting back into retro gaming, I'm like, I want my whole picture taken up. And you know what? It's the wrong way to play. I admit that now. So here you can see Mario Brothers, Lost Levels, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, Super Mario World. We're going to go Super Mario World for a minute, just because we played it also on the Super NES Online. Now if you notice too, look at the ghosting that's happening in the upper, like just between the E and the R and above the W. That's the type of issues you can run into with these types of converters. So something just to be aware of. Now I will say the audio sounds good. Again, you can kind of see some noise. I'm going to pause it. So if you look just to the right of Mario in the dirt there's some noise there. That's some of the issues that these types of adapters can have happen. Now I will say this does look better than just straight composite into the TV. A little bit of a lag there too. I hit the jump button and it didn't do its thing. Oh wow, I'm screwing those up. I got skunked on that one. Well, at least here we can... Here, look above the pipe. Do you see those vertical lines? Those are some of the issues when I say I'm not a big fan of these. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to pause it now. We're going to switch to another system. We're going a generation newer, and we are going to Rogue Squad here on the N64. One of the nice things, it uses the same cable as the Super NES, so easy to switch. Now this does look better. I will admit that. Now on this we do have a couple different ships available. There's the A-Wing. You can actually use the Snow Speeder if we wanted to, it looks like. Can't use the Falcon. A Y-Wing. The V-Wing. I always thought the V-Wing was an interesting ship, but you never actually saw it in any movies or in any canon. We're just going to use the X-Wing. Now for a controller, I am using the Tribute 64. It's just very, very comfortable to play. Now, definitely not as rough looking as the Super NES, I will say that. Got him. Oh, got a couple TIE Advance going there. Got that dude. There's more bombers coming in. You can still definitely see noise. I mean, this is not a clean, a super clean picture. But again, this is one of those things where this is kind of where you start, This is one of those where if you have, say you found your old box of N64 cartridges or Super NES or Genesis or Master System and you just want to play, this will allow you to do that. Now I am seeing some horizontal lines. I'm going to put the reticule right there. You can see them, or at least I can see them on my end. All right, we're going to take this. We're going to go another generation, newer still. One of my favorite systems of all time, the GameCube. And let me tell you something, brother. Just because the NWO, sweet, just got nominated for the WWE Hall of Fame, we are going to play some WrestleMania X8, 18, whatever you want to call it. Now, one thing I did forget to mention talking about the N64, the unit I was playing on is actually the unit that I have RGB modded, and as you can see, it was able to still do composite, no issues whatsoever. You know, I wish Sting was on here so you could have Sting versus Taker. Let's see, we need Kevin Nash against fake Kevin Nash, Kane. One thing I never understood, WWE owned the rights to all the music at this point. Why did this game not have the NWO? That's not the NWO theme. So I have issues with this already that I can't do the hair flip as one of his moves. This is the greatest night in the history of our great sport. Uh-oh, better be careful, Kane. You don't want to blow out Nash's knee. Okay, I call BS. There is no way Kevin Nash was ever going to do an abdominal stretch. Oh, nice lariat. Oh, caught him boasting there. That guy. Oh, he's got him. He's got him for the choke slam. Can he get him up? He gets him up and down. Oh, knocked him down. You know what? We're going to let Kane have this one because it is time to wrap it up. First and foremost, got to thank TTX Tech for sending us these to check out. And actually, Adrian at Live Action Games, they sent them to him. He lent them to me to do this video with. So what do I think? I am not the customer for these products. My name is Gary and I have become a video quality snob. I admit it. Where I started back in this hobby almost 5 years ago now to where I am now, not the same place. When I first started getting back into this, I actually bought an AV to HDMI adapter because I just wanted to hook my NES up to my TV. The video is here on the channel. It's one of the first videos we ever produced. It is functional, but it sure ain't pretty. You are not going to get the same results out of something like this that you would out of a FrameMeister or an OSSC or an HDMI mod. But here's the dirty little secret. You're not going to pay as much as you would for those solutions either. These are designed for you to get your feet back into the hobby. This is where you start. These are your first steps, at least with the AV to HDMI adapter. Now with the HDMI to AV adapter, I'm especially not the customer for this because I don't like CRTs, I don't own CRTs, I don't want CRTs. You want to talk to someone who is a huge CRT fan? Talk to the guys over at Gaming Off the Grid. They absolutely love CRTs. Everything that they own, including PlayStation 4s, Xbox, Switch, they play through CRTs using a device very similar to this HD to AV. If you know what a FrameMeister is, if you know what a RetroTink is, if you know what an OSSC is, these products aren't for you. You have progressed beyond that, and it's okay. Do they deliver the best quality? No. These are not going for quality. They're going for convenience. Do they introduce lag? Absolutely. Will you notice it on some action platformers? Possibly. I really didn't notice a whole lot, but I'm sure that it's there. I will say too that the three-way switch worked perfectly. It's one of those that we actually even used it in our upcoming review of the Viv Bright projector that we tested out. We basically ran our Switch, our Genesis Mini, and our Chromecast all into this. Worked perfectly. Could not be happier about this. This, if you need to go into or have more devices go into an HDMI port, would work perfectly. Now it is only 4K at 30 frames per second. If you are doing 4K at 60 frames, you may want to go a little bit higher end, but again, budget friendly. Same thing with all these, budget friendly. You'll be able to pick up any of these for under 30 bucks. And to be able to just take your NES that you found in a closet or an attic, hook it up to your modern TV, and to get back in the hobby, again, this is where you start. Good quality components as far as, I like the fact that they have aluminum heatsink cases to help dissipate heat. Both the HDMI and the RCA jacks seemed very quality as well. And on the three-way switch, I mean, the thickness on that cable thing is really a large diameter. But these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Is this something that you've been kind of looking at and considering, and would you do? Did you even know that you could take an HDMI cable and go down to RCA jacks to hook up to components for Composite for your CRT TVs? Gaming off the grid, what are you guys doing? HDMI is there for a reason. Use it! Again, let me know what you think down in the comments. You can also go ahead and email me with any questions that you might have to rocksolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter @RockSolidStudios, Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, and on Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, if you do want to pick up any of these guys, what I would recommend, head to your local retro video game store, like we've got Live Action Games here in town, where you can go ahead and pick them up. That's one of the nice things about TTX is they are designed to help support that brick and mortar retro game store, because if they're gone, we're left with eBay, and if you don't have a convention in your area, yeah, that would kind of suck. If you also want to go ahead and support the channel, you can do so in a couple different ways too. Head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you get early access to our video content, exclusive content, and more. Plus, you can also head on over to our Teespring store, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more, all featuring the Rock Solid Productions logo. And like I mentioned at the top of this video, it is more important now than ever. If you like what you see here, if you want to see more, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment down below. And that is something that just really helps this channel grow. TTX, thank you for sending us these to test out. I appreciate it. I hope you appreciated the look at them and kind of see how they work. My name is Gary. This has been Rock Solid Productions. I thank you for watching. I really hope to see you soon.